Is being selfish inherently wrong, or could it be a key to personal success? Let's consider the concept of selfishness. It's a term that often gets a bad rap, conjuring images of individuals who are self-absorbed, uncaring, and willing to step on others to get ahead. It's typically associated with negative traits such as greed, arrogance, and a lack of empathy. But what if we told you there's more to selfishness than meets the eye? Welcome to the Paradox of Selfishness. In its simplest form, this paradox asks us to reconsider the notion that being selfish is always detrimental. Instead, it suggests that selfishness, in certain contexts, can be an essential trait for personal achievement and even societal progress. Think about it, all of us at some level are selfish. We prioritize our needs, our desires, and our goals. We make choices that benefit us personally. Does this make us bad people, or does it simply make us human? Selfishness, when viewed from a different perspective, is a survival instinct. It's a mechanism that allows us to protect ourselves, to ensure our well-being, and to strive for what we want. It's the driving force that pushes us to improve, to achieve, and to succeed. But here's where the paradox comes into play. While selfishness can lead to personal success, it can also contribute to societal progress. How, you ask? Well, when individuals strive for personal success, they often create value not just for themselves, but for others too. They innovate, they create jobs, they contribute to the economy, all actions that, while driven by personal gain, can lead to societal benefits. So, selfishness, far from being an inherent vice, can be a catalyst for advancement, both personal and societal. It's a concept that challenges conventional wisdom and invites us to look at selfishness with fresh eyes. So let's delve into this paradox and see if being selfish is really that bad. The philosophy of selfishness is not a new concept. It has been explored and dissected by thinkers across centuries, each contributing to its multifaceted understanding. Many have embraced this philosophy, while others have vehemently opposed it. One of the most influential proponents of this philosophy was Ayn Rand, a Russian-American writer and philosopher. In her works, she propagated the idea of objectivism, a philosophy that holds the pursuit of one's own happiness as the highest moral purpose. She believed that rational self-interest and ambition are the driving forces of societal progress. According to her, when individuals act in their own best interests, they contribute to the overall betterment of society. However, it's worth noting that Rand's philosophy doesn't advocate for blind selfishness. She emphasized the importance of rationality, meaning that one's actions should be guided by reason, not whim or impulse. In this context, being selfish means pursuing one's goals and desires in a way that is not detrimental to others. On the flip side, there is a counterpoint that excessive selfishness can lead to societal harm and personal isolation. This perspective holds that unchecked self-interest might lead to actions that harm others, disrupt social harmony, and eventually isolate the individual. It's a cautionary note against the idea of unbridled selfishness. The British philosopher Bertrand Russell, for instance, argued that excessive self-interest could lead to a lack of empathy and understanding towards others. He believed that a balance between self-interest and consideration for others is crucial for personal growth and societal progress. In essence, the philosophy of selfishness is a complex and nuanced concept. It isn't simply about putting oneself above all else, but rather about understanding and acting upon one's self-interest in a rational and thoughtful manner. It's about recognizing that our actions, driven by our personal ambitions and desires, have the potential to contribute to societal advancement. While these philosophical perspectives provide a foundation, let's examine the practical implications of selfishness. In practical terms, being selfish can be a catalyst for personal growth and success. Now let's break that down. When we talk about selfishness, we're referring to the act of prioritizing one's own needs and desires. This can manifest in various ways, from dedicating time to personal hobbies, focusing on career advancement, or even investing in self-improvement. So how does this lead to success? By prioritizing ourselves, we direct our energy towards the things that matter most to us. This focus sharpens our skills, broadens our knowledge, and expands our horizons. As we continue to invest in ourselves, we become more competent, confident, and ultimately more successful in our chosen fields. But let's not forget the other side of the coin. Excessive selfishness, where empathy and respect for others are entirely dismissed, can lead to harm. It can create a ripple effect that damages relationships, fosters resentment, and even isolates us from the very society we're trying to succeed in. Think of it this way. A tree can only grow so tall before its roots start to strain and its branches begin to crack under its own weight. Similarly, success born of unchecked selfishness can be unstable and short-lived. So where does that leave us? Is selfishness a virtue or a vice? Well, it's not quite as black and white as that. Like many things in life, it's all about balance. Selfishness, when tempered with empathy and respect for others, can be a powerful tool for personal growth and success. On the other hand, when selfishness is left unchecked, it can be destructive. It can erode the very foundations of our relationships and communities. But if we can strike the right balance, selfishness can lead to personal success without compromising the well-being of others. So, while selfishness can drive success, it is not without potential pitfalls. The key then lies in finding a balance. We've discussed the paradox, the philosophy, and the practical application of selfishness. Now let's delve into the harmony that can exist when selfishness is balanced with empathy and respect for others. Imagine a seesaw, with selfishness on one end and empathy on the other. Our aim is to keep that seesaw level, to find a balance that allows us to succeed personally, without causing harm to others or society at large. You see, selfishness, in its purest form, is about self-preservation and self-interest. It's the instinct that urges us to eat when we're hungry, to rest when we're tired, to strive for better when we're unsatisfied. It's a fundamental part of being human. Yet we live in a world that's interconnected, a world where our actions have consequences, often impacting others. This is where empathy and respect come into the picture. Empathy allows us to understand and share the feelings of others. Respect acknowledges the rights, feelings, and traditions of others. When we balance our selfish impulses with empathy and respect, we create a symbiotic relationship. We're able to pursue our goals and ambitions while also considering the impact of our actions on the people around us. This doesn't mean we compromise on our dreams or desires. Rather, it means we strive for them in a way that's considerate, that's aware of the world beyond our own needs and wants. Think of the most successful people you know. Chances are they've mastered this balance. They've harnessed their selfishness to drive them forward, while also maintaining a level of empathy and respect that keeps them grounded, that ensures their success doesn't come at the expense of others. So perhaps the true measure of success isn't just about achievement or recognition. Perhaps it's also about how we navigate our journey towards those accomplishments, how we balance our inherent selfishness with empathy and respect. Achieving this balance may be the true measure of success. So is it okay to be selfish? Let's recap for a moment. We've explored the paradox of selfishness, the philosophy behind it, how it plays out in practice, and the delicate balance required. Now it's time to answer that question. Selfishness, as we've demystified, isn't inherently bad. It's a primal instinct, a survival mechanism that has been wired into our brains since the dawn of humanity. It's the driving force behind ambition, the pursuit of personal happiness, and the quest for success. On the other hand, unbridled selfishness can lead to social chaos, a lack of empathy, and a disregard for the well-being of others. This is where the balance comes into play. It's not about eradicating selfishness, but rather channeling it in a way that serves our personal pursuits without causing harm to others. Let's consider innovation as an example. Innovators by nature are selfish. They want to create something new, something better for their own satisfaction or success. But in the process, they often end up benefiting society as a whole. Their selfish desire to achieve fuels progress and societal advancement. Yet it's critical to remember that being selfish doesn't exempt us from our responsibilities towards others. Empathy, respect, and understanding should always be intertwined with our selfish pursuits. It's not about choosing between being selfish or selfless, but rather striking a balance between the two. In essence, selfishness is a double-edged sword. It can lead to personal growth and societal progress, but it can also cause harm if not properly managed. It's a tool, a trait, a part of our human nature that we need to understand and harness for our own benefit as well as for the greater good. In the end, being selfish is okay, as long as it is balanced with empathy and respect for others. It's not about being right or wrong, it's about understanding and managing our inherent human nature.